blaming the fans for walking out early, blaming the players. No one daren't put the finger at the manager. You know what I mean? And for me, it's on him.
But what could he have done in that game?
It's about drilling mentality, like, you know. I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, Ken, you know what I mean? But when you're in the last minute of Sunderland, 5 minutes from Sunderland, you're winning 2-1, you're bringing on defenders, and then you don't see out that game. It's a mentality thing, like when you going against Wolves, you spend 67. I don't know how long it was, painful minutes to get the goal. And then to sit back and do exactly what Wolves had done to us for 60 minutes, and you can only hold out for 9 minutes. And got lucky, you know what I mean? I don't blame any fan for walking out.
But then isn't that the players? Because I'm hearing the managers made ample substitutions, right? So in that Wolves game, for example, he basically got to half-time, probably said to them, you guys got 10 minutes to sort this out, otherwise I'm making changes. And he did that. He brought on Odegaard, Marino, and then later brought on Jesus, right? Subs that really should have made an impact. None of them really, other than Jesus, Mikel Marino and Odegaard were poor.
I'm with Lee here, because I don't think it's based on that game. To be honest, I don't think it's anything too much that is based on that game. I think it's a culmination of things that have been leading up to this point, that some of us, especially me, Lee, Curtis, have been pointing at for probably 3-4 weeks now, that something's not right. And again, yesterday, Ben White, 3 90-minute games in a row. He's not played hardly all season. We all know he struggles with injuries. He's been unfit for a while. Why are we playing Nketiah at left back? We're not playing Miles Lewis-Skelly. We're putting Ben White in. And then he goes and does his hamstring. He's going to be out for a month now. And then we're going to go, oh, it's not our fault. We've got injuries. But that's managerial. That's on Arteta for me.
I don't disagree with that, but that's one thing out of all the other things. And I look at it like, the reality is, can I blame my manager for Martinelli missing a sitter? Can I blame my manager for our players not playing to our striker strengths? Can I blame my manager for Eze again in another game? You didn't play against Club Brugge, you were awful against Aston Villa. Can I blame Mikel Arteta because Eze's not turned up in that game, or Marino, or any of the team? I can't really.
No, I get what you're saying on that, like, but what it is, he sets the stall. His mentality sets the stall, like, you know what I mean? Like, I look at that team, when I see that defence come out, like, you know, everybody says, right, Miles Lewis-Skelly's coming into that team. Why did he not play in that game? And what you're doing is you're putting in Nketiah over on the left side, who is not as good as Miles Lewis-Skelly on the ball. He might be a better defender, but not on the ball. We're not going to defend that much in that game, like, you know. And then what you're doing is you're putting Saliba over to the left-hand side. As you said, you're leaving Ben White exposed to maybe getting an injury, and that sets a tone. Why are you doing it? Why was that even a consideration? Like, is he trying to be too clever, too arrogant, or whatever? I don't know. Like, you know. And listen, I'm totally agree with you on that. It's not his fault about Eze and all that, like, you know. But he has got to get tunes out of these players, and for 3 or 4 games now. Like, at the end of the day, we go back to the Sunderland game. We don't win. We haven't won 3 games, our last 3 away games in the Premier League, we've not won. You know what I mean? I look back at the game against Chelsea, you're down to 10 men and you don't don't see the job over the line, like. And there was a stage at that when that equaliser went in, we was going to go into the next weekend second in the league. You know what I mean? Like, where we could have been, if we'd have been a little bit more positive, a little bit more at it, in positivity, we could have been 5-6 points clear. And what we've done is we've been far too cautious.
A brilliant cross, brilliant goal by them, right?
Yeah, very good.
Look how much space that player had to put that cross in. I'm like, why is everybody just standing off? Is that fair that they've got because of what happened last week? Or they were just so passive.
So you're saying now that they're nervous in December. So what are they going to be like in March, April, May?
I'm saying that was, you know, listen, and that can be a natural thing, but I'm expecting some of the senior players in there to go and put a tackle in or something like that. You don't just stand off players.
I totally agree with you. But what about the first half? Every single first half that we play at the Emirates in a minute, it's walking football. It's slow. nothing happening.
Well, no.
But then, he comes out second half. No, Rob, he comes out second half, and there's a bit more. Why are you not instilling these players to do that in the first place?
That's not completely accurate, because that's the first game I think we played at home this season. We haven't scored in the first half.
Other than Man City.
No, but like, we've been very placid at home. It's not been great. It's not been great.
I think that first half was.
Well, you've been been off your seat in the first 10 minutes of games. We haven't, Rob.
That first half was shocking because, we didn't have a shot on target. We didn't look like scoring. We wasted a whole half. I said it in my fan cam. We wasted a whole half of football, and that puts you under pressure
for the second half.
When you've got a team that's like very well organised. I was very impressed with how they defended. Very well organised. And also I feel there was a little bit of complacency.
It should be 2-0 up in the first half.
I think a bit of complacency in Arsenal as well.
Well, there you go. So who instills that? Who lets complacency go?
I feel I'm putting most of that on the players.
He's playing players.
I agree with Lee.
No, you know what? Sorry, I'm going to make you. You know what I think is the players' complacency? Because he's gone with a strong lineup, so he ain't been complacent.
Well, because he's playing players not playing well, Rob.
That's a stronger lineup than me and you. We were on the starting 11, and we were like saying, rest more players, rest. He went strong. Yeah. So that shows me, right, that he's not being complacent, because he's saying, right, you know what? I'm going strong, and I'm going to go. I even said on the starting 11, I didn't think he'd go strong as that, but I say, I'd like him to go strong.
Where did he go strong? He didn't go strong at the back. Changed it all around at the back.
That's a strong back four.
That's still a strong back four.
Not for me.
Ben White,
have a look at Nketiah. Have a look at the last goal with Nketiah.
Whether Ben White should have played or not, I don't think he should have played. I'm with you, Jack. But that's not a strong back. Ben White, Saliba, Nketiah and Timber.
All three internationals with their clubs.
Timber's only played 3 games for Arsenal at central defence.
It's strong.
Yeah, but we bought him as a centre-back. Nketiah, if you look him at Bayer Leverkusen, he plays most of it, and even for Ecuador, he plays as a left-back.
But that's the point is what Robbie said, I just want to go over it a second, right? So, Aston Villa, we weren't caught on a counter-attack. No, the goal we conceded was we're stuck in our box. It was fiddling around in the box, and they finally scored. Chelsea, set piece. It wasn't a counter-attack of us being too far up the pitch and that. Wolves, header in the box, being camped in our own box. Sunderland, balls into the box, camped in our own box. It's the same pattern in 4 different games now where we've got a goal and then we've sat back. There's a chance that we go into next week against Everton, City are top of the league, and we're going to be chasing them.
Wouldn't it be, listen, when I say in their heads, I'm not saying mentally it's done them in or nothing, right? But wouldn't it be in your head if you played, well, it's 5-a-side, but say you played, right? Yeah. And the last couple of games, right, you've conceded last-minute goals, right? Wouldn't it be in your head to say, right, you look up at the clock, we're nearly there, let's see it out, rather than go gun-ho?
Not against a team with 2 points all season, Rob. I think if it's a
doesn't matter, Lee.
Yes, it
matter.
does.
The main thing is, right, in a game, you haven't been playing well, make sure you win it. The other day...
so when are they going to start playing well then?
The other day, Man City, they're 2-0 up against Leeds. Leeds get
Forget about Man City. Why are you looking at what? It's not about Man City, is it?
No, because you do. People said this to me on Saturday, right? And it's the most ridiculous stuff to say, because if Arsenal are not going to be perfect. They are not. There are no teams.
Well, they haven't been perfect for 4 weeks, Rob.
Exactly.
We know that.
There are no teams that win a league that can't be perfect, right? So it is quite legitimate to look at other teams and say that this doesn't just happen to Arsenal. So I'm saying, right, the other day, Man City, they're 2-0 up against Leeds. Leeds get it back to 2-2, right? Now, the thing is about it, right, they didn't just look on it and say, it's Leeds, man. But, you know what I mean? Pep Guardiola had to bring every player over.
So right? I'll come back to you on this.
Listen to what I'm saying. Right?
I will, because I'm going to come back to you on this.
The keeper went down, right? Yeah. He had to strategically bring everybody over and say, yo, guys, we're about to throw this away. And then they went and they got the winner. It's not exclusive to Arsenal, right? Now, the best thing about Saturday, it's a shocking performance. I am with you guys on that. A worrying performance, I'm with you guys on that. But their heads, one thing I do say is that a couple of seasons ago, I saw a couple of performances. I remember Southampton when we played them. Remember that game? It reminded me of this one so much. The expectations were, and Southampton at that time, they were pants. The expectation was we were going to blow them away. We didn't. They shocked us. The way they started, the way they were positive, the way they defended, and we ended up drawing the game.
I get what you're saying about we need to, take it on board. We've watched a lot of football. We know it's all there. But what we're saying is, everybody, it's everybody. Mikel's, I think he's a good manager. I'm pretty sure that he'll come through it. But when things are not right, let's not just criticise the fans. You're the manager.
Yeah,
You've got to get this done. He has got to get this over the line this season. There's no two ways about it. And if you're going to be defensive and cautious all the time, you ain't. There's going to have to be a change of mentality somewhere along the line. And if you're struggling against Wolves to create chances, I'm not. When you go back to that Aston Villa game, that first half we was crap. Never really put a thing in. It's only till we went 1-0 down that we started to play. Sunderland, first half, rubbish, right? And as soon as we went 1-0 down, we went and attacked them and all that lot. Well, that is the mentality you've got to have. You're far too cautious. And now, when you go to Everton, let's go for it. And I'll tell you what, if we go for it, even in that game against Wolves, we're back and back. And as soon as we went 1-1, we went, let's get back up front, bang, goal. Why can't we do that?
For this game anyways, that's why I'm not really I'm looking at my players like, why does it take for someone to put a bit of fire under your ass to actually decide you want to win a game? You should know from minute. If I'm an attacking player, right, and I'm going into that game against Wolves, I'm looking at it like, this team's bottom of the league. They can't win a game for love nor money. You should be going into that like, I want to come out with this with assists, with goals. And the reality is, other than Saka, not a single person in that team went into that game thinking, yeah, I'm coming in here with something. And what frustrates me the most is that I've seen this before where there's no left-hand side. It was just Saka. What if there is no Saka?
Yeah, I think that's the best point you made.
Saka was outstanding.